Our first speaker is Ambassador Ronald Neumann, who is on our advisory board. He serves in his regular life as president of the American Academy of Diplomacy. Ronald.
Thank you. Well, you were certainly right in saying we could all speak a great deal. I wanted to tell you why, as a professional diplomat, I am so interested in being involved in this effort and supportive of it. This will not come as a surprise, I think, to many of you to find that America's image in the world is not all it might be right now. And for too many people in too many nations, their image of America is movies, not maybe always our best image, and what they read in the press. Now, governments have a role in trying to counter that, in putting forth America's stories. And as a longtime professional diplomat, I have a strong interest, that's part of the work I'm doing now in the American Academy, in trying to expand our efforts and our staff to carry that role. But frankly, governments are never going to have a huge amount of credibility. And one of the things that I've seen over the years, and which I think we need a lot more of, is the exchanges. There is nothing like a person who comes and lives with an American family and studies to go back and talk to their own people in their own country about what America is really about. And particularly after 9/11, when there were so many images of American anger or views. I mean, when I was in Bahrain, there were huge numbers of rumors about what was happening to Bahraini students. Almost all of it was untrue. I kept asking Bahraini students who came back on visits or their parents, what's actually happening with your kids? Oh, they're having a great time, The family has gone out to make sure they don't have any problems. But it's only the people themselves who come back and talk to others who carry this message with the credibility. And I just want to tell you one story, and then I'll go away so others can talk. One colleague of mine in Afghanistan, a deputy minister, had studied here in the States, and he'd lived with an American family. And during the years of war, he was first in the Mujahideen, and then he was in an NGO. He was separated from his family for years. He would, once every month or two, he would walk to Kabul from wherever he was based, and he would enter his house after dark to see his family, and he would leave before dawn so that he was safe and they wouldn't be endangered. And he'd gone through these years of separation and trial. But he always had this memory of the family he lived with in the States, with whom he had remained in touch, and he used to talk about mom and dad. And he didn't mean his parents in Kabul. He meant the family he had lived with in the States. And he had this tremendously warm memory. And I saw this as we were able to reinstitute the Fulbright and the Humphrey program. And I talked to students as they came back from these programs. And every one of them had had a good experience. Every one of them was talking to all their fellows. We are very media-centric. We tend to think about how, you want 5,000 hits a day. Well, 4,999 of them may not believe what they're reading. But they believe what their friend, their neighbor, their child, their colleague tells them about this experience. And that is why I believe so strongly in this. Thank you very much.